Hello and welcome to Applaud the Mod, the series which looks at a variety of different mods for PC gaming. My name is Connor, and today we will be looking at a Halo mod for Sins of the Solar Empire by the name of Sins of the Prophets. And before I go on, Sins of the Prophets is still in beta. They have released one faction to play as, and that faction is the UNSC. There are two other playable factions that are coming with a full version, and they are the Covenant and the Forerunners. The Flood are also in the mod, but they will be taking the part of the pirates, so they will attack random factions, random people, and that's it. So, why am I looking at a mod that is not released? Well, because it's incredible. The models, the textures, the rendering. The UNSC ships in this game, you can't see it, but I am literally closing my eyes, clench both hands into fists, and going, they're so awesome! They are so awesome! Now, I have played about 2 hours of a certain game of this. I stayed up last night playing it all night. I love it. There is mech cannons, there is... Oh, why did I just forget the name of the fighters that they used? Oh, my brain. But, yeah. You will see the ships, you'll see the mech cannons. It's so awesome. So let's just load up and allow me to show you it. Now, while it's loading, if you have played Sins of the Solar Empire, you know that you will start off with one planet in most games, and that you'll have to explore other systems to conquer the planets or invade them. Now, although the Covenant are not yet implemented, I have seen on a few planets, neutral planets that I have attacked, that there are a few Covenant vessels in game. Now, they are neutral, you can't take them, you cannot control them, but they're still in game. They still have to add a lot of the ships in game. They're still working on a lot of the models, and for all I care, they can take their time. I don't want them rushing this. The Halo Universe is one of my favourite universes, along with Star Wars, and I would love to see them put their heart and soul into this mod and make it as awesome as it possibly can be. Now, here we have a mech cannon. This is your turret, your main line of defense against invasion. My voice just went weird. But yes, this is the mobile turret. It stays in the same position. It can turn obviously and rotate to fire on different targets. And I have to say, this does quite a lot of damage against UNSC vehicles. Because there are no Covenant or Forerunner or Flood ships yet in game, apart from the ones I just mentioned. There's a few Covenant frigates, but you know, they're not really playable or capturable or anything like that. But they're still, these guns are still incredibly powerful against the UNSC ships that have attacked me in the past. We also have custom, let's see if I can find it. Where's Earth? Custom Starbase. Now, as you know, if you have played Sins, if you don't, then I will explain what a Starbase is. A Starbase is an immobile and immovable star fortress that defends a planet. It's a massive space station. Not like the Death Star, it's not a big ball of doom that fires a big green laser doom. But it launches fighters that can be upgraded, you can also trade from it. It's quite awesome. Now, I think you see one of these in Reach when you have to defend the research station from the Covenant attack whenever you're in a Saber. But I'm not entirely sure, it's been quite a while since I played Reach. But nonetheless, I really like the design, if this has been custom designed by the team. And they will obviously put a link to the mod page in the description if you'd like to check it out. Also check out if you have the screens so you can see the new Phoenix class ship that's being implemented in the future, as well as a lot of the Covenant ships. Now, as I just mentioned the Phoenix class, if you do not know what I'm talking about, then maybe you will if you've ever played Halo Wars. Now, Halo Wars was an RTS on the Xbox, pretty good one. You know, the Xbox had its limitations. It did lag quite a lot with large forces attacking each other, but yeah, it wasn't that bad. You could tell it was designed from the console. You had one base, you just added on structures to it. It couldn't move, you couldn't build anywhere you wanted. It was like build plots and you just added to them and stuff. It was a pretty okay game. You could select all your units with one control or one button, which was, you know, okay. I played it for a while. I didn't really enjoy it as much as I wish I had, but that's not really the game's fault. It's just that I prefer RTS games that are to scale, realistic. Like, that's why I really prefer, if you've watched my previous videos, that's why I prefer my Forces of Corruption mods or Command & Conquer General mods to have units that are actually to scale, because I like to get really immersed in them. There's nothing like hundreds of fighters spamming out of a Lucre Hulk in Star Wars. A droid, it's the large droid, you know, controlled ship you saw in the Phantom Menace. But yeah, I like realism. Now, where is my fleet? Now, here it is. Here's my beautiful UNSC fleet. It's been flying around my systems, taking out whatever rebel scum, whatever separatist scum may try to take over my planets. Now, they did just take Reach. Reach has been destroyed, even though the Covenant have not yet arrived. So I may just have to take that so everything goes to plan for the Covenant. And so Master Chief actually gets off this planet alive. And actually, you know, saves the day. Now, what is that? Oh, it looks like we have a little rebel patrol ship. Let's just see if we can sort that out. Now, watch this. This is going to be amazing. This is going to be such a hail of fire. Oh! Boom. It's dead. As you can see, the mech cannon that the UNSC larger vessels have equipped is incredibly powerful against UNSC ships. I would like to see how powerful it is against a Covenant fleet or even just a Covenant supercarrier, because from what I've read, one of those immense Covenant supercarriers can take down an entire UNSC fleet without taking a scratch because of their shielding and stuff. But I did also hear from Halo 2 that the mech cannons do a hell of a lot of damage and can just cut through the Covenant shields. Now, I'll look at a few of the ships. Now, as I said, this won't be an in-depth look until the actual mod is released. When it is released fully, I will take a better look at it. But this is just a quick look at the UNSC, what they have and how things are going. So here we have the Sharon class frigate. This is the frigate that you will probably remember from Halo 3 and Halo 2. These guys attack the Ark in Halo 3 with their mechs, and I don't really think they do much damage or destroy it. I'm not really sure. I think it sort of lifts up and escapes or whatever, but yeah, I love the design of this. They also drop off a load of tanks and warthogs for Chief and a lot of the Marines in Halo 3 whenever you're on the, I think is it the Forge World? I'm not really sure what its name is, but it's pretty awesome nonetheless. And here we have a Halcyon. Now the Halcyon is what the Pillar of Autumn is. The Pillar of Autumn makes a brief appearance in Reach, but it is also the ship you start off in Halo Combat Evolved, which is the first. This is commanded by Captain Keyes. Well, not this particular one, but you know what I mean. He is the most famous commander of the Pillar of Autumn, and this was also where we first met Master Chief, where he had to escape and save as much of the crew as he possibly could. I love the design of these ships. In my mind, what I think in the future will happen is that if humans do transcend into space and we start going around in spaceships and conquering planets and, you know, colonizing planets, I think the design of the human ships will actually be incredibly similar to the ships in Halo. They're not pretty. Well, they are pretty. I love the bulky look and how heavily armed they are. But they look like that could be the future of human space travel and spacefaring. Just amazing. And here's the big boy of my fleet, the Thermopylae class supercarrier. Now this guy carries quite a few longsword interceptor bombers. The longsword is the large fighters that attacked the Ark in Halo 3, as well as allowed Master Chief to escape the original ring in Halo Combat Evolved. These are incredibly large fighters, and compared to, let's just say, the Halcyon, which I think docks one of these. I don't know how. I mean, they're incredibly large fighters. It doesn't make sense to me how, that's a marathon, duh, how in Halo Combat Evolved, Chief was sort of driving through one of these things, full speed, in a Warthog, for 20 minutes. That makes absolutely no sense. A lot of people have talked about this and said that it is not possible. So that's one of the biggest flops and mix-ups with, or sorry, biggest mistakes that they've made in Halo, any of the Halo games. And I'm not really a fan of that at all. We have the bridge here in the center. I'll just zoom in. I'm not sure if the mouse is turned on and flapped. Oh, nope, didn't want to do it. But I'll have a look at the Phoenix class. I said that this was not implemented yet. The model is almost done. They are going to implement it in a future patch, or maybe even the full version, but this is just a placeholder model until it is ready. And it still looks pretty badass, pretty nice modeling. I have to give a little bit of kudos to the team who are behind these models, because out of the few mods that I played for Sins of Solar Empire, this has got to be one of the most beautiful and has had the most work put in. Now, as you probably know by now, if you've watched any of my previous videos, I'm a massive fan of Star Wars, and the Sins of, is it the Galactic Empire? I'm not really sure. I forget the name. I have it installed, but this is Entrenchment, not Rebellion, so I can't really, you know, switch between the two. Not that I want to, because this is about Halo, Sins of the Prophets, so obviously I'm not talking about that. But yeah, I love incredibly detailed mods, and the Star Wars mod is also incredibly incredibly detailed, and I might take a look at that in the future. And also, if you watch my previous videos, I do take quite the in-depth look at RTS mods. I'm not really a fan of first-person shooters or sports games or anything, so I tend to just play RTS and MMOs like WoW and the Old Republic and maybe even Guild Wars 2, and you know, a little bit of Terra now and again. But yeah, I'm a big RTS fan. Love the Total War games. Can't wait for Rome 2. I've never really seen the ships in the Halo universe. I am a fan of the Halo universe, but I never really look too in depth into the Halo canon. But I really would like to learn more about it. Like, the Spartans were never always these soldiers of righteousness who fought for the humans, to save the human race from annihilation from the evil Covenant armadas and alien races. They sort of just killed everyone else who stood against the UNSC and their more or less bosses. So I'll leave you now with a quick look of the fleet and how beautiful it is. This is my UNSC fleet, and it looks incredibly spectacular, and I just love it to pieces, and I cannot wait until the full version is released. But thank you very much for watching, guys. This has been Connor with Applaud the Mod on Connor Chaos on YouTube. On. Quite a lot of ons. And I will see you next time. Bye bye, and all the best. Ciao.